Hello everyone, welcome back to Omegon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Today I would like to again talk about Ezra Miller, as an accusation has come to light, one that may have you think of people like Onision. Now I am not now going to say that Ezra Miller is Onision, only that you are going to get vibes akin to that of Onision. And I'm going to provide as much context as I can in this video to best demonstrate the concerns of the parents who have levied these accusations at Ezra Miller, who is still the Flash, by the way, so one does now have to wonder if Flashpoint is suddenly going to magically change time for all of us, so that Ezra Miller's record is squeaky clean. You know, just like Jared Fogel's. Ezra Miller was yet again trending on Twitter, and this is how I found out about it. And I'm going to read a couple tweets that I found quite interesting on the subject. Sancheesy, Warner Brothers every time Ezra Miller is trending. Steve Rogers, holy, Ezra Miller is a groomer? We'll get into the article in a moment and you can make your own minds up on that one. Karim, so Warner Brothers want to get rid of Amber as Mira, allegedly, but is still pushing forward with Ezra Miller as the Flash despite them terrorizing a whole island, assaulting, stealing, and threatening to unalive people and allegedly abusing a minor? Alright, now I've had to insert the word allegedly because I really don't want that backlash on me. It would be a massive distraction from the topic at hand. And again, you must make your own informed decision with all the information available. It's why all the sources are in the pinned comment. Rose of Dawn, Twitter whenever Ezra Miller does something. It's a clip of Scrubs and I like it. With Old Dirty Bloke restating what I said earlier, the marketing for Flashpoint is going to be interesting. I'll be honest, this could well be one of the very few times Ezra Miller would beg for the ability to change time. Beg. When I earlier read Steve Rogers' groomer question tweet, there are many replies underneath, some questioning the validity of the source, others talking about how gross this is, or the fact that this is one of the biggest L's for Zack Snyder, and I'm sure in all instances there is a form of validity to those claims, statements, assumptions, assertions, whichever you prefer really. I tweeted out, while only an accusation, and I would want this to be properly investigated before anyone called Ezra a groomer, Warner Brothers have fired for less. Just saying. Underneath my tweet, Lord Malice, how is anyone surprised at this? This is what happens when you indulge spoilt brats. Just look at Horace and Fulgrim. That is a Warhammer 40,000 reference, in case you didn't know. So to find out what has been said, we are now going to go to TMZ. Whether you consider them reputable, respectable, whatever, is your business. There are other articles I am going to link from Entertainment as well. They corroborate everything claimed in the TMZ article. Multiple sources is better than one, as one can be considered biased in some manner. Hell, both can really, if you're that much of a pedantic prick. Parents say actors taking control of their daughter and ask court for protective order. Ezra Miller is not only a bad influence, they're a danger to the well-being of an 18-year-old woman, at least according to her parents, who are asking a court to step in and keep the actor away from her. According to new legal documents obtained by TMZ, Tokata Iron Eyes met a then 23-year-old Miller in 2016 when she was 12, and the actor was visiting the Standing Rock Reservation in North Dakota. From there, Tokata's parents say she and Ezra developed a friendship they believe puts Tokata at risk. Tokata's parents say Miller flew her to London in 2017 to visit the studio where Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was filmed, and she was a big fan, and Miller was a star in the movie. At the time of the trip, they say Tokata was 14, Ezra 25. As the friendship continued, Tokata's parents claim Ezra supplied their underage daughter with alcohol, marijuana, and LSD. Not only that, they claim Ezra disrupted Tokata's schooling at a private institute in Massachusetts, so much so she dropped out in December of 2021. So far, this is quite serious stuff. Because the parents were getting very suspicious of what was going on, they flew out to Ezra Miller's home in Vermont to get their daughter, only to discover she didn't have in her possession her driver's license, car keys, bank card, and other items needed to navigate life independently, like a cell phone. When they looked at Tokata, they found bruises on her body, which they allege Ezra Miller caused. After she got home, Tokata's parents claim that she fled to New York City to reunite with Ezra, and from there, the pair have been traveling together to Vermont, Hawaii, and Los Angeles. The two were in fact spotted at a club in Hawaii. In those same documents, the parents state that Ezra uses violence, intimidation, threats of violence, fear, paranoia, delusions, and drugs to hold sway over a young adolescent Tokata. They've also claimed that Ezra has told Tokata to solely go by a different name, a nickname that she formerly used with family and friends, Gibson, like the guitar. They also believe that Ezra has been pushing their own ideas onto Tokata. For example, they firmly believe that Ezra Miller pushed Tokata to identify as non-binary transgender. Tokata has been active on Instagram and did put out a statement concerning this, saying, "I'd like to make a statement to acknowledge the tragedy that is the narrative of the general public and the assumptions made on my behalf by my family and friends regarding my stability and otherwise. I dropped out of Bard 5 months ago. My friend and comrade William passed shortly thereafter. My mind was incredibly impacted, and I needed space and time for the processing of grief. My comrade, Ezra Miller, for the entirety of the aforementioned era, has only provided loving support and invaluable protection throughout this period of loss. I am in no way or under any circumstance have ever been during my short-lived adulthood in need of a conservatorship. My father and his allegations hold no weight, and are quite frankly transphobic and based in the notion that I am somehow incapable of coherent thought or opposing opinions to those of my own kindred worrying about my well-being. I am now aware of the severity of emotional and psychological manipulation I was made to endure while in my parents' home. I am an adult, and I deserve to feel authority in my own body. I am tired of wondering whether or not cops will show up to section me on a daily basis. I have decided upon a therapist and I'm excited to now engage in conversation with a mental health professional about my anxiety and probable depression." The vast majority of the comments from people have essentially said, "Stockholm Syndrome, you are a victim. Sounds like you were groomed and you've ignored the fact that Ezra has been accused of abusing you. Grooming does start at a young age, which is why many people are accusing Ezra of this, because you were quite young when your friendship began with Ezra. It is not helped when you put out a 2-minute, 23-second video on Instagram talking about why you don't have a phone and trying to prove that you are under no duress when you look higher than a kite, when you speak at a playback speed slower than my own. It is astonishing how bad you think you know optics and fail so fundamentally to debunk any of the accusations levied at you, and levied, more importantly, at Ezra Miller. You are an adult and you are right, but the accusations of him grooming you go from when you were a child. That is when the accusations began, and those are the accusations that need to be addressed, because if you were manipulated into the person you are now, who's the real person, really? Who's the real Tokata?